ahead. Oh, you're waiting? There you go.
Hello, a anniversary.
It's our anniversary.
Our anniversary, Dad.
We are so happy.
I'm so happy.
It's our 6th anniversary, right?
I'm so happy.
Okay, so why don't you introduce us?
Yeah, Dad. My name is John. This is my partner. My dad, Mark. My father, my partner, and having anniversary, Dad.
And what's the name of our business?
Sean's Crazy Socks.
John's Crazy Socks. And what's our mission?
Spreading happiness.
And today, what's today's date?
Today's date is December 9th, 2022.
So, we started this business 6 years ago today.
Yes, I'm back in 2016.
It was a Friday, December
Friday,
9th, right?
Yes.
And it was just the two of us. And whose idea was it to
This
start
is
this?
my idea.
Your idea.
This is my idea. I want to sell Crazy Socks. White socks. It's fun. It's colorful. It's creative. It always let me be me. I want Crazy Socks my whole life. And this my idea. I want to go to business with my dad. And this is father-son business together.
Well, you know, and you gotta give all this credit to John because you were in your last year of school. What
Yeah,
school
this
were
my
you
last
at?
year.
What school were you at?
Huntington High School.
He was in his last year of school, like everybody else, trying to figure out what do I do next.
I look at you. I look in school program and work like a job. I can find a great option I don't like.
You didn't say anything he liked, and we know. You know, John has Down syndrome, and unfortunately, there just aren't enough good opportunities for people with Down syndrome. But you're a natural entrepreneur.
Yes, I am.
You didn't see a job you wanted. You said.
I want to create one. I want to make one, Dad.
And so he had the idea to sell socks. And when we started on that day, I remember being kind of cold and gray. We didn't know what to expect. We had gone the lean startup route. We just wanted to get something up and running, right? We did
Absolutely.
very quickly. We built a website on the Shopify platform. Now you hear Shopify around all the time, ads for them. We had a little inventory. We were bootstrapping.
Yeah.
And we got asked recently by a student, what exactly does bootstrapping mean? It means you have no money. You got to make do what we have.
Right.
So we started doing exactly this. We set up a Facebook page, and the only thing we did was I would take out my cell phone and make videos.
And yeah, I talk about socks, and I also do my favorite memories, and I talk about socks, and I have a catchphrase: socks, socks, and more socks.
What we would do sometimes, I would drive John to school.
Yeah.
And remember, we'd stop on the way to school
I wait before
in Huntington Harbor, and we'd take out the cell phone, and you made some videos, right?
Yeah, I write a museum.
Right, over on Milldam Road.
I write it out front of a little deli called Poco's.
Right, because you'd go get your breakfast there.
Yeah, I love breakfast.
You love breakfast. You're a hobbit. You love every meal. And we didn't know what to expect. We got a little bit of inventory. And that was kind of funny because suppliers didn't want to sell to us.
Right.
Because they said you have to have customers first. Well, if you won't give us anything, how can we get customers? It was kind of crazy, right? But we did. And, of course, there were bumps along the way.
Yeah, we did.
Even that first day, we were going to open at what time?
We got to people open at 10 in the morning, except our website crashed.
The website crashed.
Just on my dad.
Because our webmaster, and that was me, messed something up in the
What
code.
do you do?
So we opened at 3 in the afternoon. And right from the beginning, we were pledging 5% of our earnings to the Special Olympics.
Yeah.
And we always knew we wanted to wow our customers.
Absolutely.
So what we do, like most of those first orders were local. That made sense.
Right.
They were in and around the town of Huntington. What do we do with those orders?
I decided to find our home delivery. We get red boxes, and I put a sock in the box. I put some little nice sticky note I wrote, and I put all the bags, hundred kisses.
We got Hershey's Kisses and poured them in,
Yep.
right? Loaded up the car, drove around,
Yeah,
and you knocked on doors delivering
I
socks.
did, and customer response. They love the socks, and I take a picture with me and the socks, and share it on social media. I get a spread.
We drove all around the town. We'd be out sometimes after 10 o'clock at night. You're knocking on doors, right?
Yeah,
And we learned a lot by doing that. And one thing that caught us by surprise, certainly caught me by surprise, we got a very emotional response from people.
right.
I remember there was one woman.
Oh
We
yeah.
had delivered to her on the very first night. And she was a little short, short with us, but she took the package, went inside. And then she reordered like the next Wednesday or Thursday. And I remember it was snowing a little bit. We went back to her house, and she came out and she hugged you. She said, "Thank you so much." Because she explained to us that first day, her husband was in the hospital having surgery. And she was very worried about him and had just gotten home from the hospital. But she said that your smile and you showing up delivering those socks made her feel so good.
Absolutely.
We met families that were waiting for you to come and invited you in.
Right.
Taking photos with you inside their houses. You liked that, didn't you?
Yes. And one of my favorite one
Yeah.
that people come up to me. Daddy John.
Oh, well, that's happened a lot now, right? Over the years. But when we first started, just you and me,
You're right.
the knucklehead sewing socks. There was another time, there was a woman, we were in Northport, right here on Long Island near us. I remember we pulled up,
Yeah, we did.
and her house was way up a hill, and you had
All the way
to
up.
walk all these steps up. And so you climbed up the steps and delivered the socks. Is that you climbing the steps?
Yeah.
And you came back down, and she followed you down.
Right.
And she came to the car, and she explained that her mother had passed away over the summer. And she was very down and was not in the Christmas spirit at all, not in the holiday spirit. But when she saw you and the videos with you, and when you went and delivered the socks to her, that lifted her whole spirits. And you
Right.
put her in the holiday spirit. How special was that?
Very special. And one of my favorite one. This from the one of our study partners, Andy SS, National Testing Society, that had a Times Square thing. A grandmother.
Oh, well, that's a different story.
I don't want to share that
You
story.
want me to tell that story? I haven't told that story in a while. So, over the years, we've gotten to meet many people, and that's wonderful, right? You always like it when people come up to you.
Yeah, I love it.
You get stopped in airports, you get stopped on the street, you get stopped in restaurants. Last night we were at Chick-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A, yeah.
There were two young women that, you were waiting in line, and they come up to the car. "Are you the sock guy?"
I saw you at the Fox.
"Did I see you on TV?"
Yes.
And they got you out of the car to take pictures.
Yeah.
Did you like that?
Yeah, and take a picture of my Twitter plate.
Yeah, they liked it with the license plate, because now what does our license plate say?
Sock guy.
Sock guy. But it's sometimes odd, but it's a very emotional connection with people. And that's because they see you, a man with Down syndrome,
Right.
creating a business, and that gives hope to a lot of people. That's a good thing. So, let's see, over 6 years, we've had our ups and downs, right? There have been Good times, been some tough times. Do you have any favorite memories?
Yes, I do.
What are they?
One of them, we had over the holidays, I just ran out inventory,
All right.
and you got trying around at Kmart.
Oh, that's when we first started. That first
Sorry.
weekend, we didn't have much inventory. We're running out of socks. Didn't know what to do.
Right.
Saturday night,
And
I drove to every Kmart in Suffolk
Right.
County buying socks.
Around that time, my mom and I went up to Albany.
Right,
And
because your grandfather was very sick.
Our first day, and my mom and I went to Kmart
Up in Albany, bought socks.
Albany.
We've had that, right?
Yeah, yeah.
You've met a lot of people. You've testified twice before Congress.
Yes.
We've been down to Congress a lot. You were honored by the New York State Legislature.
Right.
That's pretty cool.
I love it.
We get to speak up for people when we do that, right? It creates, when we get those opportunities, it creates an obligation for us to speak up for others, right? It was that one time we're down in Washington, D.C., and a customer from Houston.
Yes.
You like this story, don't you?
I love it. I love it.
A customer from Houston called and said, listen, my mother works in the Capitol, and she's a big fan of John's. She'd like to meet John. Do you think that'd be possible? And our colleague said, sure, and gave her my cell number and said, have your mother text her contact information. Who was Mom?
Nancy Pelosi.
Nancy Pelosi. So we go
That's
get
wonderful.
an audience with Nancy Pelosi. And too often we forget about the humanity of our elected officials. Nancy Pelosi's an 80-year-old Italian grandmother. She loved it when you came in, and she took out pictures
Yes.
of her and President Bush, George H.W. Bush.
Oh, yeah. Can we talk about that?
Yeah, because you had become sock buddies with the
Yes.
president.
And yeah.
She took out pictures of socks she gave the president.
Right.
And this was warm and lovely, and everybody took photos.
And very nice. And
But then,
one big thing.
yeah, if we have that opportunity, we have to speak up. And I
Right.
said, well, Ms. Pelosi, now we have to talk to you about repealing Section 14C of the Fair
Absolutely.
Labor Standard Act of 1938, which allow employers to pay people with a disability as little as 25 cents an hour. And that's awful.
Right.
So, yes, you got to be sock buddies
Yeah.
with the former
And
president.
just my idea. And I want to send a box of socks to my good friend. I showed it to my Bush, and I want a pair. I want a pair of socks, and I know I find out she likes wearing Christian socks, and
You sent him socks,
I
right?
right.
And then he sent you socks.
He sent me a sock. He sent me a letter. It's amazing.
Right? And then he tweeted out pictures of wearing your socks. And when Mrs. Bush passed away, his office asked us to
Yeah.
send him socks. You sent him socks then. Right? That was
Right.
pretty cool.
And yeah,
You met a lot of famous people.
Kevin James.
Oh, you're a big fan of Kevin James, right?
Oh, I have my favorite.
What?
I all the way down there, and I'll give it down to Kevin James. Kevin James, it's for you. I should.
A burp snort? And he introduced you to Chris Rock and Adam Sandler, right? But you know the best thing? The best thing is now, around the holidays, when this place is busy, we have all these people working here.
Yeah.
That's the best thing,
Incredible.
right? I was putting some numbers together. So how many different socks we have?
We have 4,000 different socks.
John has built the world's largest sock store. That's amazing.
It's incredible.
We created 34 jobs. 22 of those are held by people with different abilities. We just added 15 seasonal employees. 12 of them have different abilities. We've shipped now over 400,000 packages.
Absolutely.
That's 400,000 thank you notes from you.
Yes, Dad.
400,000 packages of candy.
Right. Oh,
You want to tell them about the candy?
yeah, and I'm going to talk about Second Note.
Oh, good. What are you going to say about thank you note?
Second Note is a very, very first day. Very first day. I used to write all the Second Notes
By hand.
about that hand.
Now we have copies of them, right?
Yeah, copy. Probably my hair looks don't crappy.
And the candy. So what candy did we put in originally?
I heard the cases, and we got an email from the roommate down south. I have to think that.
We have to rethink that, huh?
And we switched it to Skittles.
Right now it's Skittles or fruit things that won't melt, right?
Right.
Let's see some other numbers. 30,000 five-star reviews.
Yeah.
A net promoter score of 94.
Right.
Off the charts good. We've had more than 1,000 people come through here on tours. We've had more than 1,000 work group sessions.
Absolutely.
People coming in from special education classes and social service agencies just to get a taste of work.
Absolutely.
That's pretty cool. We've raised over $550,000 for our charity partners.
Yes.
You have donated over $125,000 at the Special Olympics.
Think that.
Very cool.
And really cool. For the first day, we started this business. My dad and I went over to a DD Bank.
Oh, right. Well, it was before the first day we opened our bank account.
Bank account.
Right, because you got to do all that stuff.
Right.
You're a businessman, pal.
Yeah, Dad.
We do a lot of speaking engagements. We've got to travel the country.
Yeah.
Been to Mexico.
Mexico.
We've been to Canada numerous times,
Right.
including a speaking tour with the U.S. State Department.
That was very cool.
That was very cool, right?
I can't tell you. I can't tell you when my first public speaking.
Yeah.
My very first public speaking. That and my girlfriend. My girlfriend. His name is Todd Colvin.
This was before we started the business.
Right before we started the business, and he's a valedictorian class, and he asked me to give him valedictorian speech to him.
He asked you to introduce him.
I introduced to him, and I want to give a shout out to my producer. Makes me very happy. Miss Clee. She's my speech therapist. She helped me a valedictorian speech.
You had to learn to say valedictorian.
Yep.
You were still working on your own name, Cronin.
Yeah, Dad.
And I remember that day, John.
Oh, it's so great.
They had the graduation outside in the football field.
Yeah.
And the stands are packed and the field is filled with people. And now it's your turn to get up and introduce Todd.
I'm going to go up to the microphone like a Johnny Cash.
Like Johnny Cash. He comes walking up to the microphone. And you were so awesome. And now, you do public speaking all the time.
Right. I tell you, I can't tell you, I communicate.
Yeah.
I'm very little.
Oh, when you were very young.
I'm very young.
You had trouble talking.
I had trouble talking, and I do a sign language, and I do technology like put a button.
Right, you had a device
communicate.
that was, right.
And now
You talk all the time.
I talk all the time. Why for that?
Right.
I never shut up.
Well, how about the time you got to introduce the New York Knicks?
New York Knicks, yes.
That was so cool, right? I loved it because we go courtside before the game, and before anybody's in the arena, and meet some of the announcers. And I got to meet Walt Frazier, who was a childhood hero of mine.
Yes.
I used to pretend when I was a kid that I was going to be like Walt Frazier playing guard. I was nothing like him. But and one of the announcers, Al Trotwig, was very nice. He pulled you aside and he gave you advice on how not to be nervous. Right?
Right.
I didn't have the heart to tell him.
Right.
You never get nervous.
I'm not getting nervous. I write it a minute caught, and I put spell on me, and I killed it.
I tell you, son, we are so fortunate.
Yeah,
We're
I'm
so
very
lucky,
fortunate.
and we have to thank you because it's our supporters and our customers that make everything possible. 6 years later, you are the folks that are the heroes of this story. Because when you buy from us, right, you're going to get great socks, but this is what you do. You help us employ people with different abilities, right? You help us give back. And most of all, you help us spread happiness.
Absolutely. And also, and my favorite,
Yeah,
I want to get a big thank you.
go ahead.
I'm my whole life. Right started soccer socks started. I gave her 3 shout-outs.
Go ahead.
One I got Chris's t-shirt, and I taught me Miss Clee, my speech
You
therapist,
mentioned her, okay.
and Dr. Willie Johnson,
The Murphy just.
and Alaska's t-shirt,
Right?
and more importantly,
Yeah.
retail.
Oh,
A
right.
retail class. I played part-time in Huntington High School and with the tech program. I went to Brooksy's. I studied retail. I would give shout out to Miss Cavione.
And we see her all the time.
I
She
see her all the
brings
time.
a work group in here, right?
I'm so fortunate to have a great teacher. I told
Well,
me.
you had great teachers. And also Special Olympics.
Yeah,
That, you learn so much from Special Olympics.
very much.
How long have you been doing Special Olympics now?
21 years.
20. In fact, last night you had basketball and you were excited.
I'm so happy.
What happened last night?
Last night I made a full basket last night, and I got great rebounds, and I had great steals, and I played great defense. That's great.
Well, here we go. Anyway, folks, we just wanted to say thank you.
Yeah, I want to say thank you.
If you're on
so
if you're
much.
on Long Island tomorrow, Saturday the 10th, we're having our annual.
An annual anniversary open house.
Right,
And
so
everyone
come
can
down.
come.
We're having a party. We're gonna have Santa and food trucks and music and
Yep.
socks.
And I'm really cool.
What?
Got a Santa Claus show off.
Oh, you're gonna have a ho 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 of?
Ho 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 ho.
Yeah, we're down in Farmingdale now on Long Island. We're Long Islandton, born and bred. It's funny.
Yeah.
Over the years, different states have tried to get us to relocate. City of Texas did. Boston tried to talk to us about relocating. It's like, what are we going to do? We're from Long Island. We're Long Islanders. Our colleagues are from Long Island.
Right.
What are we going to do? Show up one day and say, oh, we're moving to Texas. The electricity is cheaper. And oh, by the way, you all lost your jobs. We would never do that.
No, I'm not that. We're knucklehead from Long Island.
We're a couple of knuckleheads selling socks.
No, socks.
And all we want to do,
And shame that we're on.
change the world. Okay, folks. Well, we should check in and see if people are saying anything out there, John.
Yes, Dad.
Oh, let's see. We had a couple comments here. Brittany says hello.
Hi, Brittany.
Our friend Doug King is saying
Hi,
hello.
Doug.
Hello, Krista.
Hi, Krista.
And Amy Hopper is saying
Hi,
that she
Amy.
loved one of those John's Crazy Sock shirts. Mary Gonzalez, who we hear from a lot.
Hi, Mary.
She gets the Sock of the Month Club. People love that Sock of the Month Club.
That's great.
Krista says,
Hi,
thank you
Krista.
for inspiring us with autism, that anything is possible. That's what we want to do every day, Krista. We want to show what's possible. We want to
Absolutely.
show what people can do when you give them a chance. We talk about that all the time. Hiring people with different abilities is not altruism. It's good business. We've made TEDx talks on that. We've spoken to Congress about that. So thank you, Krista.
Thank you, Krista.
Carol Donovan saying hello.
How's it going?
Carrie says, I order socks from you each year for Christmas. Well, thank you, Carrie.
Thank you,
You're
Carrie.
making a difference for us.
Thank you very much.
Lynn says, love my Santa socks.
Thank you
that's
very
really
much.
cool. Those Santa socks are fun. Chris is saying, please put some fruit snacks in without red dye. We're always looking to change that. We are changing our packaging. I saw the samples come in yesterday to make it more sustainable. So the packaging will be biodegradable. You know what you'll be able to do? You'll be able to plant it.
Yeah.
Isn't that cool?
That is so cool.
Doug King is saying, come on, get some Yankees socks. Well, I hear you on that, Doug. We like Doug even if he is a Yankee fan, huh? Who else we have out here? Lots of people. Blake Wade, your friend Blake.
Hi, Blake.
Down in Texas. If you're ever near Sanger, Texas, check out Blake's Snow Shack.
Blake's Snow Shack.
Caleb is saying hello. Love
Hello.
Crazy Socks. Jerry DiNardo, long time Huntington resident. She says, John, he's from Huntington, New York? Yeah, yes, we are. Actually, we're active in the Chamber of Commerce. We love Huntington, don't we?
I love
We
Huntington.
live in Huntington Village now. Caleb is saying Down syndrome team. Yeah, John Blinka, one of our colleagues.
Hi, Master.
I can't wait for tomorrow. And Tintin says she's ready for tomorrow too. That's great. We hope to see a lot of people here.
Yes.
Lynn says have a great weekend.
Thank you.
Krista says Merry Christmas.
Thank you so much. Merry
Yes,
Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Wow, that's awesome. Okay, folks. Well, all we can ever do is say thank you.
Absolutely.
It's so wonderful. We're so fortunate, right, buddy?
Yes.
And we've managed to build a business based on love. Look what's possible. 6 years. 6 years.
Dad.
Yeah.
Happy anniversary.
Happy anniversary, buddy. All right, take care, folks.
Take care.